Hello everybody and welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary, where I do the research to try to teach you a little something about what you're drinking. So today I'm going to teach you how to properly drink and taste our favorite beverage. So grab a glass and your nearest bottle and let's get started. Alright, so the first thing I want to mention is that if you didn't check out my nosing video last month, you might want to go do that because I'll reference it a couple of times during this video. So I'll put a link down in the description. So let's go into the technique of how to actually taste whiskey. So the first thing you'll want to do is get a glass. And you can go with Glencairn, you could go with Glencairn with a stem, or you could do anything you want. It really doesn't matter. The nose is what the Glencairn's great for, tasting. You can kind of do it out of anything. So I'm going to stick with Maker's Mark. It's probably getting a little redundant at this point, but this whiskey is good for this kind of video because it's complex. It's got multiple different flavors going on and they're easy to pick out. So I'm going to stick with the Maker's Mark. Now, something to know is you're only going to get a couple of chances to really identify the flavor profile of your whiskey because since it's alcohol, you're going to start numbing your taste buds. So keep that in mind. If you really want to do a flavor profile, start fresh. Don't have a couple beers first or something like that. So the first thing you want to do is nose your whiskey. So swirl it around a little bit to get some of those aromas out and then nose it. Now what your nose is going to tell you is what kind of flavors you can expect to taste. Now the nose is almost always going to be more prominent than your taste buds are going to taste. So it's something to keep in mind. You might smell a really faint hint of cherry in there and you might have no impression of it on your tongue. So the one good thing to know is that they should line up pretty good. So you can kind of check yourself against your nose versus your palate. It's kind of interesting. All right, next you'll want to sip it. Now the way that you sip this is actually a little weird. And it's going to look a little funny to anybody who is watching you. So maybe try it at home first, but you're going to kind of want to make like an O with your mouth and stick your tongue out just a little bit and then breathe in over the whiskey. Now the air going over your tongue is actually going to kind of liven up your taste buds a little bit, and that's the proper way to taste. If you do it right, it'll just sound like you're inhaling a little deeply, but if you do it wrong, you're going to look kind of weird. So let me show you what that looks like. Cheers. So you're going to want to let the whiskey kind of go over your tongue. Now you're going to probably pick up some different flavors as it goes over your tongue, but as far as swishing it around in your mouth, that's really not going to do much. You don't really have any taste buds like on the insides of your cheeks and stuff, so keep it mostly on your tongue. But think about what you can taste. Now there's going to be multiple different flavors going on, so you might want to do a couple of sips, but don't just think like, oh, I taste vanilla, or oh, I taste oak, or oh, I taste corn. Try to think of to what degree you're tasting that. Now your vanilla could be anything from like vanilla pudding to vanilla extract. There's pretty wide range there. So keep that in mind and really try to focus on that. I'm going to actually put a picture up here. I have a flavor profile map that you can use. They're all over the internet. You can find them. So if you ever want to do this with some friends, print off a couple of these. But as you'll see, there's different degrees of the different kinds of flavors that you can pick up. And generally you kind of map them out. All right. After you've identified what you can taste, you'll want to kind of work on that, and the only way to do that is really by trying more whiskey. So it's a terrible thing, I'm sure, but practice makes perfect. So you'll want to try whiskeys from all over the world. You've got everything from Scotch, Canadian, rye, bourbons, Japanese whiskey. There's even whiskey from like New Zealand and Australia. So find some of these whiskeys and try them from all over the world. First off, you're probably going to find something that you love that you've never tried before. But more importantly, whiskeys can taste completely different, made in different areas of the world. So that's something to try. Another thing to try would be watching reviews. Obviously if you're watching this channel, there's a good chance that you like watching whiskey reviews. So that can help you to identify things that you might not think to, or have experience enough to taste. Just be careful that it doesn't influence what you think you're tasting, So on that note, if you try it with friends, you could have the same problem. So it might feel a little weird or might seem a little strange, but if you have a couple friends together, pour a dram for each one of you, and get a piece of paper and write down what you taste, and then compare notes. You might learn something new about the whiskey that you love. Maybe, who knows, maybe Maker's Mark has something in it that I just totally don't even taste, even though clearly I'm almost done with the bottle. So anyway, that about does it for how to taste whiskey. I hope that this video has been informative to you. And if you are enjoying this, then please check out some of my other videos. So thank you for joining me here on the Whiskey Dictionary, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your day.